It's been a while since I've done a Spengy's vid, been up to stuff and things. Getting back to it, I've got a backlog of some vids I've been meaning to do. Just a preview of some of that to come, I'll be showing the sliding beam crane today, probably the Blip Mark 1 and 2 ships to show off variable thruster direction and fold-in guns, the Jackalope tank, and finally getting around to the multi-part vid on the construction of the Wang, a spiritual successor to the old series ship Mingler 1. Vids to come down the road when I feel like it. But as for today, back in the day, I had wanted a ceiling-mounted solution for holding new builds within this large warehouse-ish building thing I put together. I decided I wanted one of those rail-based sliding crane deals you'd see in warehouses. While there have been many varied crane designs done by many on YouTube, I had only noticed one so far that is specifically a sliding beam crane, which admittedly I also kept calling a gantry crane. This one was done by Anti-Terror, and it's pretty good. Their link is in the description. He uses thrusters to assist in the movement, which I eventually came to realize is very handy. But all the same, I wanted to give this a go without using thrusters, and hopefully with minimal clang if that's even possible. First off, it's established I need 2 rails going the length of the facility, then a single perpendicular rail to ride along the pair of rails, and then finally a single Y to Z axis rail to glide along that rail. For stability, I went with guide wheels on all 4 sides of the YZ axis crane for sliding along the Y axis, and then just the 3 sides for the X axis side rails, as the weight of the contraption kept this in the channel. Both contraptions have a battery and reactor to keep them operational, sensors at both ends to engage auto-stopping at each end, because those end wheels don't actually stop anything, and a small grid conversion antenna remote block to both save space and eventually remotely pilot all access from one control panel. Cameras are placed at certain angles on each axis where visual guiding at a remote station would be tricky. I had to learn the hard way during construction, but the rails had to be blast door blocks and not full blocks to alleviate the tension during the rolling process. For local control and general testing, the X-axis station controls allow independent activation of either side to fine-tune alignment, but of course with simultaneous activation and reverse options. The Y to Z axis crane contains the same activation and reverse options, but also the ascend-descend control for the crane. Since this was intended to be remotely controlled for live use, the end magnet plate handling, lights, and camera controls are all on the remote binds intended to be controlled at the central catwalk control terminal. Remote use of this involves remotely connecting to either crane and moving into position, then exiting and proceeding to the next axis. I'm sure a cleverman could make this more automated and cleaner, but this is about all the patience I had for this. But as you see, it indeed works. Now, on the subject of the crane's strength, in my testing, this really only has strength for up to 0.27 kilotons, which just isn't going to lift anything chunky, but is fine for lifting most small grid contraptions and large grid starter projects. If you go much more than this, in this example of 0.28 kilotons, it'll look like it's stuck, but it'll eventually glitch the YZ axis crane into the rail and sometimes off completely. Now, onto the subject of sharing this. While I don't mind at all putting these on the Steam Workshop, for those that want it, do keep in mind that you'd essentially have to custom cut these to size for your facility, then go through the painful process of connecting them, which will require you to take them apart to attach. I feel like it'd be easier to just study what I have here and build your own, but do let me know if anyone wants these particular crane elements posted for their use anyway, and I'll upload the set and modify the description with the link. If I am to upload them, I'll probably connect them together with a merge block at one end, so there'd be one upload instead of 2 separate crane elements to download. Feel free to comment if you all have any questions. Tune in next time for the Blip Ship vid, and thanks for stopping by.